You're listening to Thursday Night Tailgate with Chris Mascaro and Bob Lazari, where NFL legends live on. Back to you, boys.
It's him. He's alive.
And now back with us to go through our five-star picks of the week is former Patriots Pro Bowl running back Tony Collins. Hey, Tony, how are you?
Hi, Tony.
Doing fantastic. How you doing, Chris and Bob?
Okay, really good. Buddy. Thank you, Tony. So, Tony, before we get into this week's picks, last time that we got together a couple weeks ago, so I want to review what happened with our last set of picks. And you and Bob had great weeks. You were 4-1, so you made up a game on me because I was 3-2. Now Bob has surged into the lead overall, which really should come to the surprise of nobody based on Bob's track record. He was 5-0. Last time around, so he is now in sole possession of first place. But to kind of quickly recap, Tony, the only game you got wrong that I did as well is we picked the Seahawks over the Falcons, and the Falcons ended up winning that game. The other game I got wrong, I picked the Rams over the Vikings. That you and Bob both got that one right. So now for the season, again, Bob was 5-0 last time. You were 4-1. I was 3-2. Bob has a 2-game lead over me now at 35-15. I'm 33-17, and Tony, you inch a little closer to me. You're 30-20. So we've got 5 weeks to go. You're down 5 games to Bob. So you got to make up a game every week to end up in a tie. So good luck, and let's see what you think here in week 13, Tony.
All right, let's go.
Yep, our first game this week, fellas, is the one going on over my shoulder right now. That's the 5-6 Redskins at the 5-6 Cowboys. The Redskins are a 2-point road favorite, and the over/under is 47. There's no blood right now because the game is 0-0, so no one's going to get a little peek to take a winner. So, Tony, which of these teams essentially is going to be able to keep their slim playoff hopes alive?
I have lost all confidence in the Dallas Cowboys right now with Ezekiel out and the offensive line playing like they're playing. I just don't see them beating Washington tonight. I know they're playing in Dallas too. I just can't see it, man. They may win 3 more games for the rest of the year. I think the way they're playing football right now. So I'm going with the Redskins. I think the Redskins will win it. Their defense is better. Their offense is better. So. I'm going to go with the Redskins 28-14.
All right. Bob, what do you think?
It's a really tough game to pick, guys. Both of the teams, if you look at their points for, points against, are very, very closely, evenly matched. Big rivalry. Like Tony says, even though they're playing in Dallas, the way Dallas has been playing, they just can't get the ball to these guys like Witten and Des Bryant as often as they would, and there's no big playmakers. Even when Elliott was in there, I mean, they were few and far between. So I think Washington, it's like they got a little bit more on the ball. I think they go down there and they win a close one. I'm going to say Washington 24-21.
All right, so 2 votes for the Redskins, 24-21. All right. So, fellas, to both of your points, the Cowboys' offense, is really struggling. Average 7 points a game over the last 3 weeks since Zeke's been gone, something Bob and I talked about at the top of the show. Meanwhile, their defense has given up 31 points a game over that stretch. Dak Prescott, the guy, you'd hope would potentially put this team on his back and get them a few wins. He struggled as well. There's a plethora of reasons why the offensive line has really been a disaster for the Cowboys over the last several weeks. But he's only averaging 167 yards passing, no touchdowns, 5 interceptions, again, over the last 3 games. So, but if you take that a step further, he's only thrown for over 200 yards once in their last 5 games, and in 4 of those 5 games, he hasn't thrown a touchdown pass. So for the season, you look at the Cowboys, and one of the big reasons, right? You look at them; they're a -4 in the giveaway takeaway ratio, and you're never going to have a good record when you're sort of below the Mendoza line there. Their defense is ranked 22nd overall, 24th in average points allowed, and it's funny because there was a rumor floating around this week that Jason Witten was willing to leave the Cowboys right now to take the head coaching job at his alma mater, the University of Tennessee. I don't know if that's really true or not, but that's something that's been kicked around. I think Kirk Cousins is going to light these guys up, tonight. I just don't. I don't like the Cowboys either, fellas. I'm going to take the Redskins. I think they end up winning this game 30-17. Our second game is Tony's 9-2 Patriots going to the 6-5 Bills. The Patriots are a 9.5-point road favorite. The over/under here is 48. So, Tony, I know you like the Patriots here. Of course you do. But they haven't really been tested in a while since, probably in the last month since they played the Chargers. So any chance that they could be looking beyond the Bills and maybe a couple weeks out to their game against the Steelers, and the Bills might pull an upset here?
Nah, not as long as they got Belichick, man. They're not looking over these guys. Patriots know what the Bills did to them last year, and that was last year. I don't think the Bills are a quality playoff team right now. They're having a little trouble with their quarterback situation. So I got to go with my Patriots, and I just don't see them even going up in Buffalo, where it's a little tough time to play sometime. But Patriots win big, 35-7.
35-7. There's the Tony Collins blowout special of the week, which I'm sure is music to our good friend Angelo Kane, our former co-host. That's I believe out there listening in tonight. And Tony, I one of the things with Ange, typically the two of you have a bet on this game, but I hear he was smart enough this time around to dodge any bet that you were throwing his way.
No, he don't want none. He don't want none of the Patriots this year.
Indeed. So, Bob, what do you think?
Yeah, this is a free pick for everyone, I think, this week. So, yeah, New England plays better on the road than they do at home. I mean, so, and if you watched the game last week, guys, the Patriots were kind of stale. They didn't play their best game. They kind of glided through that game against Miami. So I think this one, they're going to be a little better. Their defense seems to be getting better every week. They make adjustments in that zone defense, and yeah, they're going to go up there in Buffalo and win pretty handily. Tony's got a 35-7. I'll say 35-13.
You give him a little extra credit, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so guys, I think I told you this, a few weeks ago. My policy with the Bills now is the same as it is for the Cardinals, and I'm never picking either one of those teams to win again. The Bills fooled me when they were 5-2. I thought they had things going in the positive direction, the same way, many of us were fooled by the Chiefs' 5-0 start, and we learned that both teams, the Chiefs and the Bills, are who we thought they were and are who they've always been. No need to break this game down into why the Patriots are going to win, because they're going to go in there and blow doors. I'm with both of you guys. I think the Patriots, the Patriots are who they are, and the Bills are who they've always been. I like the Patriots to win this game 37-17. Our third game is the 9-2 Vikings going to the 7-4 Falcons. The Falcons are a 3-point home favorite. The over/under is 47. Tony, can the Vikings and Case Keenum get a big NFC win, or have the Falcons actually started to find themselves after a rough start?
Probably going to be one of the best games of the week down in Atlanta, man. Minnesota's playing good football. Atlanta's improving. I'm seeing some great improvement with them, and how they went up and beat Seattle last week. But, man, I just think Minnesota has a better defense, and I think defense is going to win this game. It's going to be a close one. I'm going with the Vikings 24-21.
All right. Bob, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be with Tony this way. These are two teams that are both averaging about 375 games and both at about 25 points per game. So you're going to see points scored, and when it comes down to it, it's going to be who at the end can stop the other one. It might be one of these ones who has the ball last can win. If they contain Julio Jones, they'll be okay. So I like the Vikings to keep going and win their 8th in a row. I'm going to say the Vikings win 35-31.
All right. And, guys, I want to like the Vikings. We have Keith Millard coming on later on in the show. Our good friend and a regular listener out there, Chipper Cripps, is a big Vikings fan. He's always on me if we go too long without having someone from the Vikings on the show. And I really dig Keith and Chipper as well. And I want to give them good karma for their Vikings. But, I keep seeing Case Keenum at quarterback, and I can't buy in. I didn't buy into him when he was with the Rams last year, as our announcer Joe LaGianusa will tell you. He's a big Rams fan, and I can't buy in. I get that they've won 7 in a row. Keenum in his last 4 games has looked really good, averaging 289 yards passing, 9 touchdowns over that span, only 3 interceptions. All of those numbers really good. But when I peel back the onion, over the course of their winning streak, they've beaten, a whole bunch of bad teams with the exception of the Rams, a couple of weeks ago. They beat the Bears. They beat an Aaron Rodgers-less Packers team in Brett Hundley's first start with them. They beat the Ravens. They beat the Browns. A Redskins and a Lions team, again, teams that are, hovering around 500, but both of those teams have defenses that are near the bottom of the league. So I'm sort of like, I'm the state of Missouri here. You got to show me against the top team, and he did it against the Rams, to his credit, but he's going to have to do it again against the Falcons and then the Panthers over the next 2 weeks to get me to buy in. I think the Falcons are playing a lot better as of late. They've won 3 in a row. They're averaging 32 points a game over that stretch, which is what they were doing last year when they went to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to take the hometown Falcons here. I think they win a high-scoring game. I'm going to go 30-23. Couple more games to go. We've got our next guest, Leonard Marshall, hanging on the line. We're going to get to Leonard here in just a minute. Our 4th game this week is the 8-1 Eagles going to the 7-4 Seahawks. The Eagles are a 6-point road favorite, which seems like a lot of points to me, and the over-under is 47.5. So, Tony, can the Eagles go into a traditionally very difficult environment up in Seattle and come out with a win?
Always tough to go up to Seattle and win a game. Atlanta showed us last week that they could do it, and I think Philly's a better team than Atlanta is right now, and with the secondary that Seattle has with a couple guys missing, I think Philly will go up there and not win easily, but they will win because of their defense and because of their offense. And so gonna go with Philly winning. Close game. They're gonna score some points too, so we're gonna put it 37-33 Philly. Big scoring game.
All right. Bob, is Tony right?
Yeah, very evenly matched team, and what's pretty amazing, guys, is that we think of Wentz as the quarterback of the year and everything like that. Russell Wilson has actually completed more passes for more yardage, and doesn't seem crazy that the Seattle wouldn't be able to throw at them, but they can. I think the difference, though, guys, the running game. I mean, the Eagles they got a two-headed monster there, and they're probably going to control the ball better. I think Peterson does a good job doing that. And, it's tough, like Tony said, to go into Seattle and win. But this team, it seems like they're not bothered by things like that. So I think they're going to continue 10 straight wins. The Eagles are going to win this one 31-24.
All right. And, as you guys both point out, nobody is hotter or perhaps even as good as the Eagles are right now. They've won 9 in a row. They've their average margin of victory in their last 5 games, guys, 23 points. Bob, to your point, Carson Wentz, he's certainly getting a lot of MVP attention right now, and rightfully so. He's the 4th-rated passer in the league. He leads the league with 28 touchdown passes. He's only thrown 5 picks. And Tony, as you talked a little bit ago, defense wins championships. And the Eagles' defense is 3rd in average points allowed. They're only giving up a little over 17 points a game. They're number 1 against the run. They're only giving up 65 yards per game on the ground. And they're tied for 3rd in the giveaway-takeaway ratio with a +9. On the other side, for Seattle, their defense isn't what it used to be, and that's all due to injuries. I mean, Earl Thomas has been slowed with a hamstring injury. Cam Chancellor has a neck issue. Cliff Averill and Richard Sherman are both done for the year. So their defense is struggling, which isn't a good thing when you've got the Eagles coming to town. So I think the Eagles go into a hostile environment. I think they get another win as well. I'm taking them 31-17. Our last game this week is the Monday Nighter. It's my Steelers, my 9-2 Steelers, going to the 5-6 Bengals. The Steelers are a 6-point road favorite. The over-under is 43.5. Tony, can my boys go in and get a big win and effectively end the Bengals season?
Man, you know what? I'm looking at Cincinnati, and I watched a couple games they played the last couple of weeks. They've been playing some good football, but man, playing Pittsburgh right now, and I think Pittsburgh's playing real good football right now. Man, I just can't see Cincinnati pulling this one off, even though it's a big rivalry there with the Steelers going into Cincinnati. But going to go with the Steelers, 24-17, Pittsburgh wins.
All right. Bob, what do you think?
I'm with Tony again. I just the rivalry itself, guys, and the whole Vontaze Burfict thing, and the ability to put the nail in the coffin, as you said, Chris. all favor Pittsburgh here. I just don't think Cincinnati can score with them, and the Steelers are a very good road team, as we know. So Pittsburgh gets it together, gets their 10th win, and they win this one pretty handily. I'm going to say they win 31-20.
31-20. All right. Well, guys, you know what? Outside of the win over the Titans, most of the Steelers' wins haven't felt like wins to me. You know, last week, you know, they made Brett Hundley look like Brett Favre. The guy had 2 touchdown passes all season. He goes in and throws 3 touchdowns. Last week, the Steelers defense allowed 3 long touchdown passes too, oh, by the way, which makes me nervous about handling A.J. Green this week and down the road what Tom Brady might do to them in a few weeks. Fortunately, the Bengals defense is 28th against the run, so Le'Veon Bell should have a heck of a night. Though their pass defense is really good, they're 5th in the league against the pass, but don't let that fool you because it's, you know, you can run all over them, so you don't really need to pass against the Bengals defense. The Titans ran for nearly 200 yards against them a couple of weeks ago. Jags ran for 150 yards, you know, against them in their win. Frank Gore averaged 5 yards a carry when they played the Colts, so look for Le'Veon Bell to do the same. He had 134 yards on 35 carries the last time they played him. He added 58 yards receiving as well, so for whom the bell tolls, well, it's going to toll for the Bengals. I'm going to go with my boys as well. I think they get a lopsided win, hopefully 34-17. Tony, before we let you go, remind our listeners about all the great things you're doing helping kids get off to college.
TonyCollinsFoundation.org. Go to the website, buy a book. Every book that we sell helping the kids go off to college.
Tony, good luck this week. We look forward to catching up with you again next week. In between now and then, as always, all the best to you and your family, my friend.
Here, take care.
You guys have a good one. God bless you guys.
Thanks, Tony. Take care. That is former Patriots Pro Bowl running back Tony Collins and our 5-star picks of the week. We've got our next guest, Leonard Marshall, hanging on the line. We're going to get to Leonard on the other side of this quick station break.